What's up, FA Nation? It's time for another edition of a Thursday Night Football Preview. We're going to preview the Thursday Night Football game between the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals, and we're going to help you with all your start-sit questions for the week for your fantasy football championships, because it's time to dominate. I'm your host, Jen Piacenti, joined with me, as always, on Thursday nights, Adam Ronis. Adam, how you doing? I know you got some tough news with Deandre Swift. I want you to feel comfortable here. This is an open forum. If you need to get something off your chest, please go right ahead.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm looking forward to a great game tonight between the Seahawks and Cardinals. I think we all expect offensive fireworks, and this is one of the best primetime games we'll have this year. Two exciting quarterbacks, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson. But yeah, Deandre Swift, it's actually been a lot of bad news today with some star players missing practice. But Deandre Swift, I was talking about it on the Fantasy Alarm After Hours show on SiriusXM Fantasy last night, saying how I love Swift the rest of the way. He's a top 7 back this week, and now you feel comfortable. I've been starting him every week, but when you put him in the lineup, you're like, is it going to be Adrian Peterson? Are they going to give him enough touches? 2 weeks ago, 13 carries, big game last week. Now you feel confident. They finally unleashed him, and then we find out today he did not practice due to a concussion. So it's unlikely that he plays this week. We could cross our fingers and pray and hope he gets cleared. We saw with Allen Robinson last week, but they had an extra day. And also, when did this happen? Did it happen in practice Wednesday? Did it happen? So we don't know. So the likelihood is he's probably going to miss. And it just sucks because he's probably my highest owned running back this year. He was someone that I was looking to get in the 5th, 6th round. So I felt really good, plugging him in. One league I have him with Kamara. I have him in our GST league. I have Swift, Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones, and Gibson.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, how you doing in that league? Pretty well, I
Very
assume.
good. I got the most points. 7-3. Yeah. Should have a better record, but the most points. But, now you take Swift out and, I still have good depth, but, another injury happens and all of a sudden, you're back to the pack. So, yeah, this is just really rough for those that have Swift. But, we'll work our way through it and, hopefully we get fireworks tonight.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a really, really fun game tonight. It is a bummer with Deandre Swift because not only in your seasonals, but in DFS, the price tag was so right. $6,900 on FanDuel. I know a lot of you must have been building your lineups around Deandre Swift. Also, a couple other notable good prices on FanDuel. $6,100 Nyheim Hines I'm looking at, and Damian Harris is like 54 or something silly like that. So if you need to pivot from Deandre Swift, those could be some options if you want to save some salary. But yeah, total bummer. As far as tonight, let's talk about who's inactive. Travis Homer is inactive and Chris Carson is inactive. So the backfield will probably belong to Carlos Hyde, potentially some Alex Collins and DJ Dallas sightings in there. Yes, Adam?
Collins is not playing. They didn't activate him from the practice squad.
Okay.
So it will be Hyde, DJ Dallas most of the way, I would think. And a lot of Carlos Hyde. I got to think that they've been cautious and he's good to go now. So he would be the guy I play. I don't really feel comfortable playing anyone else in this backfield at this point.
Now, would you rather play Carlos Hyde or Chase Edmonds tonight?
I think I'd rather play Hyde. It's close.
Mm-hmm.
Edmonds still has a split. I still like Edmonds in PPR a little bit, not a ton. But we saw, if they run a lot of plays like they have and we expected in this game, there could be enough for Edmonds to give you double-digit points in PPR formats. But, Carlos Hyde's just in a better spot, more opportunity to score a touchdown, and he's just going to get more volume. So I'd lean towards Carlos Hyde in that decision.
So right now, the Seattle Seahawks are favored by 3. Surprises me. I guess it shouldn't surprise me a little. These teams seem pretty evenly matched to me, actually. We saw Russ not have a good game last week. We saw Kyler Murray do Kyler Murray things. Potentially, these two guys are in the running for MVP, are they not?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think right now it looks like Mahomes might be the favorite. Then Wilson fell after the last couple of weeks. He's not played well. He's had a couple of really bad performances with turnovers over the last couple of weeks. But, yeah, they're both in the top 4, top 5.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see some fireworks tonight. We need this. We need an exciting Thursday night game. Who do you think's going to go home the victor?
I like the Seahawks tonight. I think they bounce
Yeah.
back. Russell Wilson, coming off back-to-back losses in his career, is 8-0 against the spread. So I see a lot of the public money is on Arizona, so that always worries me. And I think people are just recency bias now. The Seattle has
Right.
not looked good. They haven't played well. I know they've been a little banged up, but I think Russell Wilson's going to come out and play a big game. So I like Seattle to win this game tonight.
I hope you're right because Russ did me really wrong last week. He was not cooking. Luckily I still am in first place in Gotham Gridiron District, but it's really close because Russ gave me 11 points and everybody on my roster super underperformed. It was so incredibly frustrating. Like James Robinson should have had 2 more touchdowns. I mean, like the whole thing was frustrating. It was like every way I turned, Will Fuller, DJ Chark, everybody just underperformed. So hoping for a bounce back week, especially from Russ. Come on, Russ. Get in the kitchen.
Yeah, last week was a rough week in a lot of ways. I have James Robinson in a couple leagues too, and 2 touchdowns called back due to a penalty. So yeah, it was a rough week for a lot of people last week.
It was definitely rough for me. All right, guys, I'm gonna hop on over and start taking your questions. Let's start on YouTube. They're already rolling in. All right, need some help. Harris, Edmonds, Hyde, and Antonio Brown. Pick an RB and a flex.
So Harris, Edmonds,
Hyde, and Antonio Brown. I like Harris, Edmonds, and Hyde.
Oh, they need 3?
They need, you only need 2, a running back and a flex. I like Harris and Hyde.
I like Harris this week. I think he's run very well. It's a really good matchup. If they fall behind, it's a little bit of a concern, but I think they're going to run them and they'll be able to have success on Houston. So, I would go with Harris and Hyde.
Okay, good. So we agree there. Harris and Hyde are our picks. PPR flex, Kalen Ballage or Salvan Ahmed?
I'm going to go with Ahmed. I know Matt Breida could be back, but I just don't see him playing a huge role this week. I know Ballage has looked better than what we've seen in recent years, and he is going against the Jets in that revenge game if you want. I mean, the volume could be there, but I expect the Chargers to come out throwing this week. Last week they didn't, and it was surprising, and I heard Keenan Allen say some comments about how they were really confused with what the Dolphins defense was doing, and they wanted to limit the mistake, which is why they ran the ball so much. Because to me, when you have Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Hunter Henry, and Herbert, you want to get the ball in their hands, not Ballage, who didn't do nothing. I mean, he had 20-plus touches and piled up some yards. So from a fantasy perspective, he got you double digits because of the 5 receptions. But I think against the Jets and their banged-up secondary, I mean, Desir's gone. Poole is out, so they're really banged up. So I expect the Chargers to come out throwing this week. And I think the Dolphins will continue to run the ball. So I'm going to go Ahmed.
I'm glad you said that because I'm playing Mike Williams in my DFS lineups and put him in my DFS bargains video this week. He's had 4 red zone targets over the last 2 weeks. I think he's kind of due, if you will. I know Howard hates it when we say someone's due, but Mike Williams is totally due. And they should have
fun.
Matchup.
Yeah, I like Mike Williams a lot this week too, especially if you're going to stack the Chargers. And look, there's risk with Mike Williams. We've seen it before, but This is a matchup that he should definitely thrive in. So, I have him ranked pretty high this week.
All right. Do I play Mike Evans or Amari Cooper over Tyler Lockett tonight? I don't think so.
No. Look, Lockett is active. It's a big game. Maybe this knee is bothering him more than we know, but he's out there. And it's a 56.5, 57 over-under, depending on the book. Look, me personally, and again, I always answer these questions as if it was my team. I would play Lockett. If he has a bad game, I'm going to live with it because it's not like you're presenting great options. Right. Evans could be shadowed by Jalen Ramsey. And I think the Cowboys offense is going to be better this week. They had the bye. Andy Dalton's going to start. The Vikings are not an imposing defense, but I'm playing Tyler Lockett. And remember, Tyler Lockett had a huge game against Arizona last time out. So I'd play Lockett.
Absolutely. Do I trade away Mixon and Ballage for Swift and Thielen?
Yes. Oh, my goodness. Really? That trade is on the table?
Yeah. Do it. Faisal, go.
I mean, even if Swift sits out, look, concussions are tricky. Yeah. David Johnson's already missed time, and you never know. Sometimes it's more serious, but we often see these guys with a concussion miss one game. So, Mixon, we don't know when he's going to return. He didn't practice again today, so that doesn't bode well. Balaj, Austin Eckler's going to be back soon. So you get Thielen, who is very good and a good matchup this week.
Very
and
good.
Swift, who's rising. That's a no-brainer trade.
I like it too. Hyde over Duke and a 1-point PPR. Yes, for me. I would play
Not
Hyde
for
over
me,
Duke
no.
Johnson.
I'm going Duke, man. Hyde's coming off an injury. It's a passing. Last week, you got to throw that game out the window. It was terrible weather. I don't know why.
It was, but the Texans don't really run the ball that much. I mean, that's just not their game. And facing New England this week, I think they're going to put the ball in the air.
I don't think New England's defense is good. The reason why it might appear that they're good is because the offense has so many long drives that their defense isn't on the field. I don't think the Texans are going to be able to slow New England down. I think there's going to be points on both sides. So I'm going Duke Johnson.
I'm playing, if I had to pick, I would play Hyde over Duke Johnson. I am playing Duke Johnson to flex, but I think everyone should temper their expectations because just Texans running backs just don't score a lot of points, no matter who they are. Even David Johnson. I mean, it's just not.
Well, David Johnson sucks, and I said that before.
Yeah.
So, but Duke's going to get all the value. He played almost all the snaps last.
I know. I just don't know that he doesn't really do well when he just runs up the middle. So, I mean, like I said, I'm playing in my flex, but I'm not that excited about it. Balaj or Duke in a standard league?
Duke for me.
I would be Duke for me there, too. You like Hyde over Balaj this week? I do. Adam does. Well.
Yeah, I do.
Hyde over Balaj? You do? Okay. So we
both like Hyde over look, Balaj is just so tricky because it looks like they're giving him a lot of value.
Right.
But again, I think this is a week the Chargers pass a ton. So, yeah, Balaj could get a touchdown, catch a few passes, but I'm going to go with a back in a high-scoring offense because, again, Seattle's – Hyde could score 2 touchdowns tonight. I think Seattle's going to pass a lot, but if this game plays out like we think and they're inside the 5, Hyde's going to get the carry. So I'm going to go with the back on a better offensive team.
Need one in a PPR league. Miles Sanders, Antonio Gibson, or Kalen Balaj?
Miles Sanders for me.
Sanders. Superflex PPR. Start Amari Cooper or Gio if Mix is out over Tannehill.
Look, for me in a Superflex, I'm starting the quarterback almost all the time. I know Tannehill has really slowed down and they go up against Baltimore, but I don't think they're going to be as bad as last week. He still has A.J. Brown to make plays, so I'm going to go with the quarterback. Because even if Tannehill gets 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, he's likely going to outscore the other 2.
Right. I agree. Full PPR, pick 2. Mike Williams, Carlos Hyde, or Chase Edmonds?
Hyde and Williams.
Agree. Hyde and Williams for me as well. You're welcome, everybody. Everyone that's saying thank you, you're welcome. Swift came down with a concussion, and he's in doubt for Sunday. We know. And I have Swift and Balaj. Should I sit Swift for Edmonds? And if Swift ends up playing, just sit Balaj for Swift? Yes.
So he needs 2?
Yeah, so he has Swift, Balaj, and Edmonds. So should he play Edmonds tonight?
If he needs 2 of those, then yeah, in case Swift sits, and then you have Balaj if you have no other options.
Right, exactly. Okay. Oops, sorry, skipped around. Let's see. Robbie Anderson, Pittman, or Balaj in standard for his flex?
Anderson, Balaj, and Pittman.
Pittman.
Yeah, see, right now I lean Balaj. The tricky part with Robbie Anderson is we don't know if Teddy Bridgewater's going to play. It's kind of looking doubtful. So I think this is one you kind of have to wait till Sunday. But if you're asking me to pick now, I'd probably go Balaj.
Okay. I am going to go Anderson. But Balaj is, they're both good.
I mean, if Bridgewater's in, I'm playing Anderson. If he's out, then I don't feel as good about it.
He's been practicing, they say. I don't know. Like, I was trying to figure out if they have to go to PJ Walker, then, I think I'm out on all the Panthers this week. We keep 3 every year. I'm 4-6. 6 of 10 seed. 6 seeds make it. It's close. Okay. Ryan, Wentz, Moore, Chark, AJ Brown, DK, Jefferson, Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Hunt, Andrews. Round 4, pick 1. Round 5 for Mahomes. Kellis. Okay. this is really, I'm trying to understand what you're asking us. Round 4, pick 1. Round 5, pick 1 for Mahomes. First 3 picks are keepers in the draft. I also have another, you know what? Chat this out with us over on fantasyalarm.com in the chat, because it'll be easier if someone can read this than if I try to read this out to Adam. So go over to fantasyalarm.com right now on the chat and type this to them. I'm going to jump over to Facebook and see what questions we have going on over there. All right. Come on, comments. There they are. All right. PPR running back. Fournette, Hyde, or Pirine?
Hyde.
Agree. Hyde. Hey, guys. Hey, Rod. PPR. Need 3. Tyreek Hill, Robert Woods, Mike Evans, Christian Kirk, or Jamison Crowder? Ooh.
All right, this is PPR you said, right? So Tyreek is in. Tyreek is in. Then it was Woods, Kirk.
Evans, Kirk, and Crowder.
I'll go Woods and Kirk. Yeah. Yeah, I took the over 48.5 yard prop for Kirk tonight. So, look, he had a big game against Seattle before. There's a little risk because he doesn't get huge volume, and he has been touchdown dependent. And I know he didn't have a big game last week, but we've already seen him come through. So, Kirk is a guy that in this type of matchup, you're going to play him. And you understand that there's a possibility that he doesn't have a huge game. But last time he faced Seattle, 8 targets, 5 for 37, and 2 touchdowns. And, he scored. Last week he had a down game, only 4 for 27 on 6 targets. But he scored 6 touchdowns on the year. And they do take shots to him deep. And we know Seattle's vulnerable in the secondary. So in a lot of instances, if you have Kirk, you're probably going to play him tonight.
Yeah, I agree. Brady or Cam?
I'm going to go Brady this week. I know it's a little concerning with this matchup here. Everyone's worried about the Rams, but I still think Brady can have a solid game. With Cam, he's a guy that just is so reliant on his rushing, and he's been very productive, has 9 rushing touchdowns on the year, but the passing yards are so low. So they just want to run. So I'm going to lean Brady here.
Flex position PPR, need 1. Gio, Lamb, DJ Moore, Edmonds, or Reagor? I assume that's Giovanni Bernard.
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to lean Gio right now. Mm-hmm. Assuming Mixon is out, and I think he will be. DJ Moore's not bad if Bridgewater's in against Detroit. So I think you kind of wait on it, but right now, Gio.
Yeah, I agree. Need 1 in a PPR. Lev Bell, Pirine, or Mark Ingram?
The issue with, here we go. Clyde Edwards-Helaire didn't practice today due to an illness. We don't know if it's COVID. Remember, COVID was running around Kansas City. So was Bell, Pirine?
Ingram. Mark Ingram.
No, Mark Ingram. So Bell, Pirine, and who was the other? Was there one more?
No, just those 3. And he just needs 1. Bell, Pirine, or Mark Ingram.
Right now, Pirine. Looks like, they said they're going to give him an opportunity here and less Frank Gore. So there's always the risk that Adam Gase goes Frank Gore heavy again. Right. But I would go Pirine right now. But if CEH is out, then it's clearly Bell.
I agree. And that matchup is good versus the Las Vegas run defense. So, and what's up with the Las Vegas defense, period? Are they playing?
Yeah, they have pretty much the entire defense on the COVID list. It's one of those situations similar to what we dealt with Stafford and Roethlisberger, where if they test negative every day, they'll be good to go on Sunday. But Chiefs are coming off a bye. They've 1 loss on the season to the Raiders. So it's a bad spot for that defense to miss all that practice time this week.
Yeah, it's not good. I think everyone's going to be taking the Chiefs in that one. Standard, need a flex. Jamal Williams, Jalen Reagor, J.K. Dobbins, or Taysom Hill. It's an ESPN league.
Oh, boy. Well, I'm not flexing Taysom Hill. He's only good if you're using him at tight end. Because we don't know exactly what his role is. In that group, I'm probably going to go Reagor.
Okay, I like that.
He's been pretty good. I expect Philly's offense to be better this week. They played the Giants, who are a good defense. I don't think people realize how well they're playing. Divisional game. They saw them a few weeks ago. Teams know each other well. As long as there's no major weather in Cleveland this week, we always have to worry about the excessive winds in Cleveland. Their last 2 games were brutal.
Yeah.
Assuming the winds are fine, I'm going to go with Rager there.
I gotta ask though a little bit. Are you tempted to use J.K. Dobbins? I mean, Tennessee's given up the 5th most points to running backs. I know it's so tricky there, but do you think maybe they can just figure out that he's the guy they should be using, or it's just too tough?
There was a report last week that was going to be the case, and it didn't happen. So
right.
you still have 3 backs. You have 3 backs that are splitting.
Yeah.
They seem to use Gus Edwards at the goal line. Lamar Jackson runs. It's just Dobbins could go out there and score a touchdown, or he could get 6 carries for 50 yards. So it's tough right now to rely on that. So I'm kind of staying away from them unless I absolutely have to. So I know we want to go with the running backs usually, but it's just a huge risk with him right now. So I'd rather go with Rager. I know at least Rager can get me 50, 60 yards, maybe a touchdown.
Okay. PPR league, I need 1 running back and 2 others. Keenan Allen, Chris Godwin, Juju, Tyler Boyd, Kareem Hunt, James Conner.
Oh, my goodness. Keenan Allen is in for sure.
Keenan Allen is in.
And 2 others.
1 can be a running back.
All right. So 1 has to be?
Only 1 can be a running back.
Okay. So Allen, Juju. Do we have to use Connor and hope that this is the week?
No, we don't have to. We could use Kareem Hunt, Tyler Boyd, or Chris Godwin.
Well, I thought you said 1 has to be a running back.
No, 1 can be. Only 1 can be.
Oh, okay. So let's go Allen, Juju. Do we go Hunt or Boyd? That's close.
I think we go Hunt.
All right, I'm okay with that.
But it's tough.
Look, Connor's had a couple good matchups. He doesn't come through. Maybe he does this week, but I think Pittsburgh throws a lot again. Why not? Look, Pittsburgh's smart. Last week, even in the bad weather, you got Claypool, Juju, and Deontay Johnson. Just throw.
Yeah, just throw. Would you play Hyde in the captain spot tonight to fit in both quarterbacks?
Yeah, that's viable. Sure. Yeah, I mean, they're pricey. So Hyde's pretty cheap, right? 78. Yeah, I think you could do that.
Jonnu or Hooper in a PPR?
I'll go Hooper. I mean, Jonnu's been asked to block a little bit more lately because they have issues on the offensive line. Right. He's touchdown dependent. I expected more from Hooper last week, but again, with the excessive winds, I knew they weren't going to throw much, so that really hurt them. So I'm going to go with Hooper because as long as the weather's fine, they'll pass a little bit more. And with Beckham out, Hooper certainly gets an upgrade. And he was even seeing more targets before Beckham got hurt. So I'll lean Hooper there.
PPR league, Edmonds, Hyde, Bernard. Would have to drop Edmonds, and I own Mixon.
Well, you got to hold Geo. I would go Geo.
Okay. Sorry for multiple posts. No worries, Daryl. It's okay if you multiple posts. I gotcha. PPR, need 2 running backs and a flex from Drake, Duke, Hyde, Edmonds, Jonathan Taylor, Bell, Crowder, Reagor, Hollywood. You got a pen? You need a pen and paper for that?
Yeah, so it was Duke.
Drake, Duke, Hyde, Edmonds, Jonathan Taylor, and Le'Veon Bell. Let's just start with that. He needs 2 running backs.
Give me Duke and Hyde.
Okay, Duke and Hyde. I would go Drake and Hyde. And then he needs a flex from all those guys again, plus Crowder, Reagor, or Hollywood.
I would go Crowder.
Yep, agree. With that last question, do I play Hunt even though I have Chubb as well? No, that changes it. I'm sorry. So, Rod, don't
go Boyd. I mean, you could play both, but last week they came through. But because it's close, we can go Tyler Boyd. I think the Bengals are going to put up points against Washington in the passing game. I like that passing game this week.
Yes. Adam, am I understanding right? Taysom Hill can't be a flex in an ESPN league. I can only use QB or tight end. It's very confusing. LO thinks that's not okay. That's not what he was saying, Robin. What he was saying is the only way that Taysom Hill actually gives you an advantage is if you play him at the tight end position, because tight ends do not score
if you
a lot
have
of
a bad tight end, like you're not
Yeah.
playing him over
right.
Andrews.
You're not going to play him
Hopkins.
over Miles Sanders or James Conner because you don't know what you're going to get. But at tight end, it's worth taking the shot. So that's what he's saying. He's saying you probably have a better flex option. He wouldn't play Taysom Hill at flex. However, he would play Taysom Hill at tight end if you have a bad tight end, right?
Right. There's a lot of tight ends that could give you 0. Taysom could get 7, 8 carries. He could play. Right. He could throw 4 or 5 passes. He could get a goal line.
They could have a hook on Jameis Winston. He could end up playing quarterback for an entire quarter, and you could end up with a great score. But it's a shot, and the only place to take that shot, because it's all about, there's a huge ceiling there, is at tight end, because you're not really losing anything unless you have Travis Kelce or Darren Waller. You're not losing much at all to try to start Taysom Hill. And in fact, guys, he's eligible on FanDuel. I feel like I'm giving away this pick too much, and I'm going to lose all my FanDuel lineups now. $4,500 at tight end for Taysom Hill. See, that's where you play Taysom Hill at tight end.
Shouldn't be a tight end.
I mean, I'm just saying. P. Ryan or Mims in a flex?
I'm gonna go P. Ryan for the volume, but Mims is not the worst play, and I think on DK he's 3,300. So if you need to save salary, not the worst play. I mean, Jets passing game looked pretty good before the bye.
Yeah, and they are not using Darnold. They're going with Joe Flacco, correct?
Yes, Flacco is going to play this week.
Yeah. PPR flex need 2. T. Higgins, Travis Fulgham, A.J. Brown, or Leonard Fournette. Well, T. Higgins for sure.
Brown and Higgins.
And Brown, I agree. Standard flex, Balaj, Crowder, or Ridley if he's healthy. Well, it's Ridley if he's healthy.
Yeah, I think he's going to play.
I think so too. If not, would you go Balaj or Crowder? In a standard, you have to go Balaj. Yeah,
I would go Balaj reluctantly.
Okay, I'm popping back over to YouTube over here. PPR, Ahmed or Jonathan Taylor?
Ahmed. I mean, Taylor is just, we just don't know. I mean, he could be the guy this week, but and he's got a good matchup. But
a good matchup.
It's hard to feel confident. Look, Ahmed has run pretty well, and Denver is really banged up right now. Look, it looks like a great spot for Miami. They're rolling. Kind of worries me. I think the line's 2.5 or 3. It looks too easy. But look, Miami is playing really good football. And I think even if Breida comes back, I think Ahmed gets most of the touches. So I'm going to roll with him. And they're running the football. So I'm going to go with him.
I agree. Winston or Big Ben?
Big Ben. Love Big Ben again this week. He was great last week. Another good matchup here. The only concern is we've seen Pittsburgh in these spots before, especially on the road, play down to the level of competition and have a letdown. They did it against Dallas 2 weeks ago, but I still think they'll put up points. So got to go with Ben this week.
Oh, come on. That was Dallas being awesome. What do you mean playing down? Dallas came with their A game, with that defense.
Pittsburgh does this all the time, every year.
Whatever they have to do just to win. All right. Edmonds, Hines, or Gronk? Hines.
Is PPR?
Doesn't say. But all the other questions, he asked 3 questions in a row, and the first one said PPR. So I'm assuming it's
I'll give Hines a slight edge over Edmonds just in case, he has the bigger role, the bigger pathway. Look, we've been through this with Hines before, though. He's had big games and the next week done nothing. So keep that in mind.
So, okay, the next question is Hines or Taylor. And I'm going to answer, and I'm going to say that I think the answer is Hines if you have to choose between the two. And this is why. First of all, they have a great matchup. It's Green Bay. It's possible they could both be productive. My reasoning is when Hines goes in, you don't know if they're going to throw or they're going to run. So it gives them just a little bit more of an advantage. If Taylor's in, they haven't been throwing to him. So I think that Hines is someone that they can use a little more creatively, and that's why I'm leaning Hines. But it's a guess.
Yeah, I'd lean Hines too. Look, maybe one of these weeks Taylor has a big game and he's on the bench for everyone, but we haven't seen much from him.
Carlos Hyde, Damian Harris, or Kenyon Drake in a half-point PPR.
That is very close. Half-point PPR. Yeah. I'm kind of leaning Harris, man. I mean, he has 3 100-yard games this year. Good matchup. They're running the football a lot. I'm going Harris.
Yep. The only danger with Harris is that the same thing I said about Hines can be said about Rex Burkhead. But I don't think you need to do any trickery with Houston. I think you can just keep running Harris.
Yeah. I think the only risk is if they fall behind. Say they fall 14-0, 17-0, and then they use more Burkhead. But I still think that they might even knowing their offense, they're still going to run a lot. So I don't think I don't think Harris would be completely erased.
Mm-hmm. Christian Kirk, Chase Claypool, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, or Jerry Jeudy in a 1-point PPR. I need 2. Wow, you went and got the rookies.
It's for me. It's Claypool and Jefferson.
Claypool and Jefferson. I like that.
I mean, I love Jefferson this week. I mean, against Dallas, he's looked great this year. It's unbelievable how good he's been. So
good.
Yeah, I don't know how you have to only play 2. I guess you have a couple of elite receivers and you're down to 2 spots, but that's really tough because, again, last week I kept answering Higgins. Tough to sit him. I will say this. I said the Bengals, I think, will put up points. Washington has been very good against wide receivers, but I'm not really worried about it with the Bengals and Burrow. Burrow, I worry more against like a Pittsburgh where they can apply a lot of pressure.
Right.
But, yeah, I got to go Claypool and Jefferson.
It looks to me like this guy did a great job studying up on his rookies and got a lot of great picks late. Those picks that we talk about, take those home run picks late. People with a lot of upside. So congratulations if that's what you did, because now you're in a tough spot though, because your team's too good. All right, Cooper Kupp, Duke Johnson, or Ahmed for a full point PPR flex.
So it was Kupp,
Duke Johnson. And Ahmed. Yeah. Full point PPR flex.
I'll go Kupp.
Okay. Jonnu or
I'll probably will. I am concerned though. His snaps have been down a little bit, but I'll probably go Kupp. It's either Duke or Kupp.
I would go Kupp. Jonnu or Taysom Hill for tight end.
That one I might go Taysom. Right. I mean, look, I love Jonnu the player, but I mean, the volume hasn't been there. He's been asked to block more because their offensive line. If he doesn't get a touchdown, it's probably not going to be a great day for him. That's a decision I think you make on Sunday. We maybe get a report that says, "Hey, look, they've mixed Taysom in with Breeze, so why wouldn't they do it with Winston?"
Exactly. That's the thing. He's going to – look, he has blackmail on Sean Payton, or they have some kind of a bromance or something's going on. He is the golden boy. They use him all these different ways. There's no way we're not seeing a Taysom Hill appearance. What it will be, I don't know. Maybe he'll throw for 100 yards. Maybe he'll rush. But he could easily get a goal line carry or something silly like that.
Yeah, they do it all the time anyway. And Alvin Kamara didn't practice today with a foot issue. This happened a couple weeks ago and he played. He said he's fine. He's going to play. I believe him. And but still, maybe they're worried about him, and Taysom Hill does come in and get a goal line carry. So another thing to consider.
Absolutely. Need 3, please. PPR: Galladay, Kupp, Lamb, Kirk, and Jacoby Myers.
So it was Galladay, Kupp, Jacoby,
Lamb,
and Kirk. Okay.
Kirk and Jacoby.
I think Galladay plays.
I think so too. I think if he plays, you play him.
Right. So
I think the real question is, should he play Kirk tonight?
Yes.
The others we can wait on.
Play Kirk in case Galladay doesn't play. I expect him to play, and then you can go Galladay and Kupp.
Myers, I think. Maybe or Kupp.
Yeah. I mean, I think I have Kupp ranked a little bit higher now, but, I love Jacoby. Been talking him up for weeks. His target share has been like at least 35% in 3 straight games. So, yeah, you could do that too.
Yeah. Half-point PPR flex. Duke, Balaj, Crowder, Kirk, Woods, or DJ Moore.
How many?
I'm guessing just 1.
Out of those, only 1? Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go
Paul,
Duke.
if you get more than one, let us know because we don't like having to pick.
I'm gonna
Duke,
go Duke.
Balazs, Crowder, Kirk, Woods, or DJ Moore. You're going Duke over Robert Woods, Christian Kirk, and DJ Moore?
Yeah, volume.
You're brave. You're brave. I wouldn't do it. I think I would go Woods. But you're right. There is a lot of volume. Should we be worried about Mixon rest of the season and try to trade him away?
Well, what are you gonna get for him? I mean, we had a trade earlier. I couldn't believe. You know what? You never know, because that trade earlier that we got was ridiculous. So
try to trade with someone that doesn't subscribe to Fantasy Alarm. They're probably not as smart as you are.
Yeah.
Gio or Taylor?
Gio. Again, I'm assuming Mixon is out. He did not practice today. We haven't gotten any good news, so I'm assuming he's out.
Choose one for flex. Chase Claypool, Will Fuller, or Nyheim Hines.
Oh my. Okay, it's either Claypool or Fuller. This is PPR.
I agree. It doesn't say. Aiden, is this PPR?
I'm gonna go.
If it's PPR, I would go Fuller.
Yeah, I think I got to go Fuller too. Yeah.
Goddard or Ebron for a tight end? I gotta go.
Going Goddard.
Okay. We're split on this one. He's going Goddard. I'm going Ebron. Hello. 2 quarterback league PPR. I have Herbert, Brady, and Alex Smith. Great. Yeah. You should start Herbert and Brady.
Yeah, I'm not playing out. I know Alex Smith threw for over 300 yards, and I know Brady has a tough matchup, but I cannot sit Brady for Alex Smith. I just can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, Alex Smith is a play if you want to just have, a lotto ticket in the Sunday Million, or, you really in a really, really deep league, super flex, then he's a play. But if you have the option of Tom Brady, you have to play Tom Brady over Alex Smith. I don't think there's any question there.
Yeah.
Defense, Washington D or Rams D?
I think I have Washington higher, but look, the Rams defense has been unbelievable. But I have Washington higher this week.
Okay. Start 2, Gio, Hyde, Balazs.
We'll go Gio and Hyde.
Gio and Hyde. Will Fuller or Juju? Ooh, it's hard. I'm going to go Fuller.
Yeah, I'm going to go Fuller too. He's the number one.
Right.
I know New England likes to take out the best player, but they're not the same defense. So Fuller's just can make your day on one play. So I'm going Fuller.
Joey says it seems that Yahoo took the tight end status off Taysom Hill. He's just at quarterback. Good for them. That's what they should do probably at this point. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of this sketchiness. However, FanDuel still has not. So, I'm just saying. Pick 2, Claypool, Robbie, or Galladay if he plays.
Claypool and Galladay.
Claypool and Galladay. All right. Let's jump back over to Facebook and see what is going on. Where did we leave off? Okay. Thanks. Good. Okay. Big Ben or Watson? Big Ben.
I have Ben, yeah. I have Ben ranked a little bit higher this week. Watson's always in play.
Always.
But Ben's got a really good matchup here, and their running game has not been effective. And he's got 3 great weapons, a wide receiver and a solid tight end. So, yeah, I really like Ben Roethlisberger this week.
Kevin George, we love you too. Jefferson, McKissick, or Godwin? He needs 2.
I'm assuming PPR.
He did not say. Kevin, is it PPR? We're going to assume PPR. If it's not, let us know.
Jefferson's got to be in there, and
it's hard. It's so weird to say you would ever start J.D. McKissick over Chris Godwin, but it is a decent question.
I'm going Godwin, man. He's been the go-to guy. I think he's going to see. He'll see he probably won't see any Jalen Ramsey. So yeah, I mean, look, it's hard to sit McKissick in PPR with all the targets he's getting, but there are certain occasions where you might have to.
Yeah. Okay, it is PPR, by the way. Okay, thanks, guys. Do you think Kirk is going to have a good night? You think he could? Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Again, I did like one of those single game parlays on FanDuel, and one of my picks was Kirk over 48.5 yards. So they're taking shots deep. We know Seattle's banged up in the secondary. Now, Kirk did not have over that number last time he faced Seattle. It was 37 yards. But he has gone over that number in 3 of the last 5 games. They take shots deep. So, yeah, I think there's a good chance he finds the end zone. He's got 5 touchdowns in his last 4 games, 6 on the season. So, yeah, I think he should have a good game. He's had double-digit points in PPR formats in 5 of his last 6 games.
Wentz, Cousins, or Stafford?
I have Wentz ranked 1 spot higher than Cousins this week.
And both of them above Stafford?
Yeah, Stafford's got this thumb issue.
Something.
That Panthers-Lions game looks like it's turning into a disaster.
It does.
Stafford's, thumb issue. Marvin Jones didn't practice. Swift concussion.
Bridgewater.
Carolina. Yeah, that's.
Galladay may not be there. Yeah, it's kind of a mess. Is Grande related to Waldo? Where is he? Well, Matt, this is our show, me and Adam. So Grande has to actually get an invitation from either me or Adam.
Yeah,
but,
you can ask that when me and Grande do an NBA DFS live stream, which is about a month away.
Yeah, don't worry. You'll see plenty of James Grande. He's one of the best. If you guys don't know James Grande, he writes the quarterback coach every week for your DFS lineups, and he is absolute fire. Everyone should be following James Grande. He is awesome. TPR, Marvin Jones, DJ Moore, or Kenny Galladay if he goes?
Galladay.
If Galladay doesn't go, would you go Jones or Moore? I would go Moore.
Moore, yeah. I don't like Marvin Jones if Galladay plays.
I agree. Okay, let's go over to YouTube and catch back up. Oh my goodness. Let's find my spot here. Hyde, Samuel, or Jefferson in the flex in a standard league? Jefferson. Mike Williams or Mike Evans? I think you go Mike Evans.
Yes, this is tough because we do like Mike Williams. Evans could see some Jalen Ramsey, but you know what? Ramsey typically doesn't shadow. I know he did a lot of Metcalf last week. I don't know if he'll shadow because they have 3 really good receivers. So I'm going to go Evans.
Okay. I'm going Evans too, but I do also like Mike Williams this week.
Yes.
If you feel Mike Williams, if that's what you want to do with your team, play him. We will not yell at you for that. Hyde or Edmonds?
I'll go Hyde. I mean, look, I think Evans could have a solid game because if it's PPR, he can catch 4 or 5 passes, but Hyde looks like he's in a spot to get 15 to 18 carries and probably going to get the goal line look. So, Carlos Hyde.
Thoughts on Mike Davis this week? I like Mike Davis this week. Detroit run defense has been pathetic, as we've stated over and over again. We don't know what's going on with Carolina, but I'm pretty sure they could count on Mike Davis if they needed to on Sunday. What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, he's ranked as an RB1. It's about volume. Now, there is a concern, though. He only played 54% of the snaps last week, which is the lowest he's had with Christian McCaffrey out. But I expect him – it was a tough matchup against Tampa, but he's going to get big volume. I mean, if you have Mike Davis, you pretty much have to play him at this point. And, look, even his floor games, it's been 8 points. But that's what's surprising. I don't understand why they're not passing the ball to more. Now, he does have 9 receptions over the last 2 weeks, but we're used to – we got spoiled earlier in the year. He was getting 8 or 9. But, yeah, it's a good matchup against the Lions. The last 2 weeks have been tough. Chiefs, Bucks. So this looks like a rebound spot.
How do you think Allen Lazard is going to do against the Colts?
I'm worried. They said if he comes back, he's going to be limited. I would not play him now. Devontae Adams didn't practice today. It's not good. I mean, he came out yesterday, said he'd be fine, or the goal was to play. But remember, Green Bay's medical staff is very, very conservative.
Protective, yeah.
I'm starting to work. Friday's going to be key for Devontae Adams, but I still probably would not play Lazard. They said he's going to be limited in his return. So he's coming off the core muscle surgery, unless that changes on Friday. But as of now, I would look to try and not play Lazard.
I agree. Do I start Drake over Gio or Brandon Cooks?
I would. Look, Drake looked good last week. I don't think he's looked good most of the year, but he really did look good last week. Seattle has been a little bit better against the run. But I would go Gio because Drake still has Edmonds to deal with. Edmonds still going to catch some passes. Drake needs a touchdown to come through,
Right.
So I'm going to go with Gio because Gio we've seen get huge volume. I know he wasn't great last week. That was Pittsburgh. So he's going to catch 4, 5, 6 passes. He's going to get 15 carries, gets an opportunity to potentially score. So I'm going Gio just for more volume.
Start Chase Edmonds tonight in the flex in a PPR deep league. Sure, if you need to. I don't know what your other options are.
Yeah, it depends who you have. He's not the best start.
Yeah. I need a running back and a flex in a PPR league. Drake Balaj, Duke Johnson, Myers, McKissick, or Hyde.
Only one?
A running back and a flex. So he needs two.
Running back and a flex. So
I would go Hyde and Myers here. But you would probably go Hyde and Duke Johnson. Drake Balaj, Duke Johnson, Myers, McKissick, or Hyde.
Probably go Duke and Myers.
Okay, you go Duke and Myers.
They're all close, though. I mean, McKissick's in the mix there, too. That's close.
Mm-hmm. Pick 2, Gio, McKissick, Hyde, or Harris.
And PPR?
PPR.
Gio and McKissick.
Gio and McKissick.
But I do like Harris.
Those catches.
He could score a touchdown or two this week.
He definitely could. Carlos Hyde or Kareem Hunt?
Kareem Hunt.
Oh, yeah. Need 2 out of this group. 1 point per completion. -1 per incompletion. Stafford, Goff, Winston, Dalton. Well, you can't do Winston.
Well, you can.
I mean, you can.
So wait, he needs 1?
Yeah. He needs 2.
2. So Winston, Goff, Dalton.
I would go Goff.
Against Tampa, though? I don't know. I'd probably go Winston and Dalton. Who was the 4th? Was there a 4th?
Stafford, Goff, Winston, Dalton.
See, I'm worried about Stafford's thumb because he had this a few years ago. I don't know if it was a thumb or a finger, and he didn't play well. So, look, I have Winston and Stafford ranked the highest, but this is a different scoring format. So, as of now, I'd go Winston and Dalton.
Winston and Dalton. I hope you're right about Dalton. I need to see some Cowboy love.
I think he'll be solid this week.
I hope so.
It's Minnesota's defense.
Yeah, it should. I mean, he ought to be.
The only team that can't do good against Minnesota's defense is the Chicago Bears and a terrible offensive line.
Opponent has Breeze and no other quarterback, so I played the block move and grabbed all the quarterbacks. Well, good for you. You're a jerk and also a winner. Who do you think is the front runner for MVP? Just wondering. I think it's Pat Mahomes still.
Mahomes. 1 interception, 1 loss.
By the way, I also played the block move and picked up Jameis Winston in multiple leagues where I didn't need him. Sorry, not sorry. Should I trade Allen Robinson, and what would be a fair trade? Why would you trade Allen Robinson?
Look, I mentioned this on the Alarm After Hours show. Look, people are down on Robinson now because they watch the game. There's people who don't watch every game, and because people watch Monday night, they saw how putrid the Bears' offense was. It's been that way most of the year. The offensive line's been a problem, but Robinson has hit double-digit points in PPR formats in every game except 1. He's getting huge volume. He has 95 targets in 10 games. So maybe they go to Trubisky. The thing with Robinson is he could be even better if he had a better quarterback. So you want to trade him? Okay, but don't trade him because of that game that you watched and we're just frustrated with the Bears offense. He still got you 10.3 in a PPR in that game. So he's played with crap quarterbacks his entire career. So just don't give him away. And, they have some good matchups coming up. I mean, look at their playoff schedule. Weeks 14 to 16, Texans, Vikings, and Jacksonville. He should go off.
He should. I would not trade Allen Robinson. I mean, the only reason this question should be asked to me is if you need someone else. You need a running back. Should I trade Allen Robinson? Well, yeah, if you need a running back bad enough, then maybe that's the person you could trade. But I just wouldn't trade Allen Robinson, period.
Yeah, or say this week you're 4-6, 5-5, and you really need to win because Robinson's on bye. Yeah, that's fine. But just don't trade him because of the game you watch and you're like, I just want to give him away. No, it's got to be a good trade.
Our producer is coming in with the cool stats. He has all these cool stats. He says, since the Vikings bye week in week 7, they've allowed 18.3 points per game, just over 300 yards a game allowed, and have 2 takeaways a game. Right. So that's why we feel good about Dallas this week.
Well, I mean, it also depends who they play. One game was against the Bears, man. You know what I'm saying? The Bears are just brutal. So,
So bad.
let me
So
see.
bad.
So they face the Bears, the Lions. Now the Packers are a good team, but didn't the Packers do well against them in that game, I think? So, I mean, look, Dallas, if they can protect Dalton, that's going to be the key.
Right. It's just about protecting Dalton. Yeah.
Right. So,
and Zeke.
yeah, I mean, Minnesota's been playing better, but against the Bears,
also divisional game. They have their own rivalry.
They blitzed them a lot too. They're typically a team that doesn't, but they saw that Bears weren't doing anything.
Does Ridley play this week? Because he has Kirk, and if we're not confident Ridley plays, he wants to start Kirk.
I think Ridley plays.
I think he does too. I like that you have Kirk. Drake, Connor, Damian Harris, or Hines?
Drake, Connor, Damian Harris, and Hines needs one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Connor.
It's Connor. Yeah.
One of these has to score.
Adam R, which is funny because you're also Adam R, but Adam R is writing in. I called you a jerk earlier, but I meant it in a compliment way because I did the same thing, taking all the quarterbacks away. Okay. Cam or Brady?
Brady.
Thoughts on this trade? PPR. I traded Deontay Johnson, Justin Jefferson, and CD Lamb for Devontae Adams.
I don't like it. And Adams is hurt.
Yeah, of course he's hurt now. But he gets Adams alongside Julio Jones, Will Fuller, and Tyler Boyd.
Oh, okay. So you can't really start all those?
Can't really start them all anyway.
Then it's not as bad.
Yeah, so you can still start Julio, Fuller, and Boyd this week even without Devontae Adams. So I don't think you would have started.
See, and that's exactly why context is needed in trades. Yeah. Because, again, on paper, if you just look at it, I'd be like, I don't like it. But then you tell me your roster, I'm like, okay, fine. You did give up quite a bit, but you know what? You can't start all these guys.
Can't use them anyway, so they're being wasted. So you may as well trade them for one big chip. Okay, all right, there we are. Popping back over to Facebook. DFS, Wilson or Murray tonight?
In DFS, I mean, Wilson is cheaper, at least on DraftKings. You can't go wrong. I mean, I have Murray ranked 1 in seasonal rankings. DFS, though.
And then you have Wilson like 3rd, maybe, right?
Yeah. Because Mahomes is 2.
Right.
I mean, Murray has the higher floor due to his rushing. I mean, he just runs every week.
Right.
But I do think Wilson bounces back in a big way. It's splitting hairs. Wilson did run for 60 yards last week, and he
can run too.
4 against Arizona last time out. So
it was a huge game versus Arizona.
It's hard to say no to Murray. They're both great plays. If you have to pick one,
save the money.
I think Seattle wins the game. I'll go Wilson. But Murray.
That's what I would do too.
How can I argue against Murray with what he does every week and how much he runs?
You can't. Goff or Cousins?
Cousins.
Do you think Robinson is going to be fine this week? Do you mean James Robinson, Matthew? Let us know if you're talking about James Robinson because we know he has a questionable tag on some.
This week, right?
There's no what?
There's no other Robinson this week, right? Because
Allen Robinson. Oh, Allen Robinson's on bye. That's right. So, yes, I think James Robinson's going to be fine this week. What do you think?
Matchup, but the volume's there.
Yeah, and one thing that people don't realize is that Pittsburgh is actually allowed – they may not have allowed a lot of runs, but the runs that they have allowed have been very long. So he could break off for a few long runs and end up really doing well for you. So I'm not worried about James Robinson this week. I'm not going to expect 2 touchdowns, but I think
right. If you have him in seasonal leagues, you're pretty much starting him. He's an RB1.
You have to. Yeah. Traded Chubb for Devontae Adams, even with Adams' injury. Curious on your thoughts. Well, it depends on what you need. Did you need a wide receiver really badly?
Yeah, I mean, look, they're both great plays. I mean, if you're doing rankings, Adams would be ranked a little higher, but Chubb has got a great playoff schedule, and he's phenomenal, and the Browns run the football a lot. He's got the Giants and the Jets in week 15 and 16, so it really comes down to what the rest of your running backs are. I'm assuming
he does still have Hunt, Henry, and Jacobs, he says.
Yeah, then it's not bad. Yeah, it's solid
Yeah.
trade. Probably
Yeah.
that's probably a win-win for both sides.
I like that. Yeah. Probably both sides won. I agree. All right. Gallup or Antonio Brown?
I think Gallup is sneaky this week, but I got to go Antonio Brown.
I agree. I have a feeling about Gallup, but my head tells me that I have to tell you to go Antonio Brown. Rod. Lockett or Thielen in a half-point PPR? Lockett.
Lockett. I mean, he's playing tonight. Again, this is a high score, total of 56.5, 57. Maybe Lockett isn't 100%. Certainly the case, but it's close, though, because Thielen's got a good matchup against Dallas. We know he gets some red zone looks. But I'm going to go Lockett. If you want to play it safe and you're worried about his knee on a short week, you want to go Thielen, no problem with that. They're basically ranked next to each other. So, again, this comes down to risk sometimes. Some people are worried. So if you are concerned about Lockett's injury in a short week and your gut is telling you Thielen, fine with it.
Jordan Wilkins or Malcolm Brown in a PPR flex?
Malcolm Brown, he's still the back they use in a passing game. He gets some goal line carries. Wilkins looked terrible last week. So both of them are dealing with two other running backs. I'm going to go Malcolm Brown.
Okay, more questions. Any sleeper defenses this week I should pick up? I have the Bears.
Well, I had the Bears and I don't know if they're a sleeper, but I really like their playoff schedule, which is why I'm going to hold them. Cleveland Browns, if they're out there. I picked them up last night, so they could be out there. I got to think Miami's rostered in all the – I mean, Chargers. Chargers are probably on the waiver wire, and they get the Jets. I know they're not great, but Flacco could turn it over, take a couple stacks. But I'd say the Chargers, Washington, Cleveland, Minnesota might have all been on the waiver wire, and I think they're all top 10 this week.
Yeah, and I made those moves myself in most of my leagues. McKissick is on the wire. Should I add bench depth and drop Balazs?
Is it PPR?
Only if it's a PPR league. Guys, McKissick is not an option unless it's PPR. All of McKissick's points are from the extreme volume of targets he gets. He does not get the red zone carries. He doesn't even actually get many red zone targets. Those go more to Terry McLaurin. So the carries go to Antonio Gibson. The targets go to McLaurin. But McKissick gets all the checkdowns in between, and that's where his points come from. So if it's a PPR league, that makes sense. But in any other format, I would not.
But I also think Balazs' value is short term because Eckler looks like he's close to a return.
That's true. The question will be, though, will they leave Balazs in as the goal line back when Eckler returns, or will
I don't see it.
You don't see it?
No.
Possible. It's possible. But I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't value Balazs super highly. I have Hunt, Chubb, and Mike Davis. Would you play both Browns running backs or throw a wide receiver in the flex?
I'd play Chubb and Mike Davis. I mean, Chubb and Mike Davis would be in, and then Hunt depends on the other receiver.
Yeah, it does.
Look, it's not ideal to play Hunt and Chubb, but I think you can in certain circumstances. They run the ball so much. Now, I know last week was more weather-related, but I'd have to go back and look. But I got to think that Hunt and Chubb had a lot of weeks together where they produced. I mean, look, early in the year, I'm looking at Kareem Hunt and PPR, 11.2, 24.1, 14.4, 19.1. Those were all weeks Chubb played. So, yeah, in a PPR, you can play both. I mean, Kareem Hunt has double-digit carries every single game this year. They want to
guys.
They want to hide Baker Mayfield because he sucks.
Yeah, he does. Wow, I feel like we should go out on that note. It was so good for me. Okay. 2 more quick questions because we were up against the clock already. PPR, James Robinson or Kenyon Drake?
Robinson.
Pick 2 of these: Drake, Duke Johnson, Brandon Cooks, Jalen Reagor, Jarvis Landry.
Duke and do I go and Cooks?
Duke and Cooks. Okay, one more. Hyde or Juju full PPR?
Juju.
All right, guys. I know we did not get to all your questions. It's awesome that you are crowding the chat, but good news is there is still 24/7 chat over at fantasyalarm.com. So go there right now. Get your questions in because you only have a few minutes left before we kick off this amazing Thursday night football game. Adam Ronis says the Seahawks are going to win tonight, but we think it's going to be a good game no matter what. Any parting thoughts, Adam?
I just hope we get an offensive shootout tonight. But I hope Kyler Murray takes it easy because I'm going against him in a couple leagues and I don't have him. So,
I have him in Scott Fishbowl, so go Kyler.
well, yeah, that's why you're doing well.
It is a small piece of that. He and Justin Herbert are, and Big Ben. It's hard to actually pick between those three sometimes. So I might have to ask you some start sits on Sunday, Adam.
My goodness, yeah. My guess is what this week you're going Kyler and Herbert.
I'm going Kyler and Herbert this week. Yes. I should have gone Big Ben and Kyler last week. I went with Herbert. It was a mistake, but it's okay. Still,
I don't know.
It was a tough call.
Yeah,
I would have made more points the other way, but whatever. I feel like it was an okay call. Anyway, enough about me. You guys go win. FantasyAlarm.com will help you. Adam, thanks for joining me. Thanks to our producer, Matt Sells. We will catch you Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Myself, Howard Bender, will be here answering any questions you have for your Sunday lineups. We'll see you Sunday.